you did. But I think what's beautiful is that is the dream.
Yeah.
Right? The dream is not easy. Right, so you're still hustling, you're still working, you're still making it happen. You know, you came in today with your own photographer doing your shit, like you know, you gotta.
Hey, you're not supposed to. I just needed proof it happened. That's all.
No, but the thing is that you understand the business, you know,
Yeah.
and like you're still doing it. Like you're not letting things happen for you. You're
Well, I've
making them
definitely
happen.
made it through a lot of transitional phases in this entertainment thing, but I just always knew I knew I was gonna do it. It was just a matter of how and figuring it out, especially coming from like not even having a manager. I have a manager, but it's not like, you know, I have like a full on, you know, team like, you know, a lot of people do. So I think not having that, but still like being able to transition, I do give myself credit for that, because I don't even know how. I look back, I'm like, damn, like I went from this, that, and I still feel like, honestly, it's not enough. Like I haven't done enough.
Back in the days, there might have been a young girl like you that was doing the music video, and then she turned into an actress or somebody else, and the path was shorter from that to acting. Nowadays, reality shows became a huge hit. Social media became a huge hit. So you're becoming a monster and all these things that is the new Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
In a way. So
Yeah.
So there's girls that are out there that are like doing their first photo shoot or their music video, and they're like, man, I can make it. And their father or mother's going, you know, what are you going to do from doing that? But they, you know, they can look at you and be like, wow, it's possible. Like you did all these things. Now it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
But you did all these things and you got there. I remember Kanye was doing an interview going like, talking about Kim Kardashian at the time, and he's like, that is the new thing. Meaning like, my wife at that time is the new star. Like, it's not about some Hollywood blockbuster. She is controlling the algorithm and everything that's going on, right? And you live in that world. So your success sometimes is not viewed because you're fragmenting. You have movies over here.
Yeah.
You have social media over here. You have all this stuff. And some people know you in different pockets, but you know, I just want to applaud you for all this shit.
Thank you.
Gotta give you love, yo.
Thank you.
That's no joke. And like, this is the modern success. It's different.
Yeah. It's been tough, and then also too, you know, because of the reality stuff, having to deal with like so much personal stuff that just gets played out for the world for however long it plays out, because I'm on TV every fucking week. So there's all of that, and then there's the world like really in my business. So yeah, it's been a fucking journey.
Yeah, no, and like Jessy said, to pick up with Jessy, is like I said, I've been casting for over 30 years, right? Wow, I'm aging myself.
Jeez.
I was gonna say.
Jessy's only been directing for 5 years.
Jeez, I thought you just turned 28.
That's what I'm saying. Don't try to age me up.
He's only been directing for 5 years, but I've been casting for over 30 years. Like I said, I've seen them all. They've all came through my doors. That's why, you know, yes, I'm responsible for a couple of people, but in your space, like from like the video vixen space, which is where you started from, right? Then the reality space, that's usually it.
Yeah.
That's the end
Yeah.
of 99% of them. So for you to go from video vixen to reality TV to being on posters.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I've been canceled before. I've been canceled before.
You know what I'm saying?
You survived that. So
Yeah.
And you survived.
And I did that with no PR, Lord.
You know, and you, I don't want to talk about that. That's
I
why
don't even have no PR for that, but yeah. But you know what it is too, because no matter what, especially in this day and age of cancel culture and all this shit, and because people have, because of the apps, people have access to just say whatever the fuck they want and like paint people out to be whatever they want and go about their day, and they don't realize, like, you know, you're taking from someone's like real identity and really who they are. So when you deal with that kind of like, when people have that type of access where they can like just from 1 minute to the next turn on you, and it's just like, it's a real wake-up call how like you really have to stay locked in with yourself. Because I know when that happened to me, it was like I lost a $1.3 million movie deal. I was about to do this other like big dating show for this other network that would have been like extremely massive. Like I had so much shit on the table for me. You know what I mean? And that was going to be, in my mind, like, this is the moment I've been waiting for. I could finally put that article out like, J-Lo got her $1 million movie deal. Here comes Erica Mena. And this is something I've never told anybody. Because it just, you know, you take your losses and side, especially this big.
Exclusive here.
No, for
Latino
real.
Champs.
No one knows.
I'm sorry,
It aired on a Monday, and I was supposed to sign that deal on Wednesday. Like, literally. So when you have, from 1 minute, everything is just like, your life is just happening great, and then for the world to just, for 1 minute, pull everything from you and then label you and then run with it. And it's just like, I gotta just take this shit. One thing's for sure is like, if you're not locked in with yourself and really know, because I could still be weeping. And I feel like that's why too, it's been able to fizzle out the way it is, because obviously I'm not really what the label was. So there's that truth of that, which always prevails. But then there's also the fact that it's like, you know, what God has for you is for you. So even though like in the moment that is the darkest of this, that, and the third, like, cause I've had a lot of moments, the world has watched me have these dark moments in real time. And then that happened. And then it was just like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? Like, you have to stay so locked in and with God more importantly, because literally that, the way it feels, the heaviness, the opinions that people have trying to degrade and take away who you are and who you know yourself to be is a different type of, oh my God, way to live. Like, it was one of the darkest times, but at the same time, it tapped me into like, really go into like who I am, what I really have to offer, what I have to finish off, you know, in this life, like what I want to really accomplish. And then my kids, more importantly, like, you know, that happened. And even though it wasn't entirely my fault, it made me really realize that I need to buckle down on just the power that I have. Like, I didn't realize, like, me saying one thing, how powerful that was. Now imagine if I could do something, like if I could just say something and move the world that way. And that was just a negative, like, to move the world in a negative is big. Now imagine if I was to change that, you know what I mean? And buckle up on like realizing how powerful I really am. I can make that same impact, but just in a different way. And it gave me a whole different perspective too, because I really had to fight, you know, and defend myself and deal with people labeling me. But it's weird because it's all on social media. In real life, the love is always real. Like, I was going through it, not wanting to go to Walmart. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to throw tomatoes at me. The world hates me. This is crazy. I could never go to Walmart. Sure enough, the first time I was like, yo, I gotta go. Life gotta go on. I was embraced, you know, by women of all, you know, ethnicities, especially, you know, my Black queens. It was like a realization that what goes on social media and the apps and this, that, and the third really doesn't mean nothing, because like the love in real life, I've never been like talked too crazy or no one cursed me out about any. If anything, the love is always real, where it's like, you know, I followed you and I'm so proud of you, or it's like, you should have left him sooner, or like, girl, I'll be rooting for you. I'm like, why she said that about your kid or whatever. It's always like love. Like, people really have my back in real life. And I think too, that's also why I've been able to kind of progress for so long. Cause in real time, like where the world, it feels like the world, the people who sit there to feel good about themselves on these apps, they really just do that because they feel the opposite, really, for real. You know, because when you step out into the real world of it, it's like the love is always so real. But that whole situation just brought everything full force. It's like, you know, now it's time. Now that chapter is over. I did what I did. Did I wish it ended differently? Absolutely. Because I was like one of the only real Latinas on that platform that was like, you know, on there, and I was doing the damn thing. And people, whether I was in love, whether I was going through divorce, whether I was, you know, having my 5th baby, whatever, the world was invested. You know what I mean? Whether I was fucking a girl or a guy, like the world was just invested, and I appreciated it because that love made me a household name. Like, whether they hated me one week and loved me next week, all of that, and it was a lot, because there would be times I'm talking to you, you'd be like, yo, you know, people just think of, I think a couple of times, right, where we had this conversation because I wanted to audition for something, and he's like, I don't know if I can get you in there because everybody knows you as, you know, that's going to be a hard one to pull off. And I'm just like,
you said that before. You were like, because people typecast you, and I did you 9 out of 10 times when I try to mention you, like, yeah, but she's probably going to beat a bitch up on set, or she's probably going to this or that.
And I'll be like, usually tell them, like, I'm really professional. That shit's reality TV. Get me in there. I think it was like for a movie or something. something, right?
It was a couple of times.
And he's like, yo, so we brought you up because, I bring you up. Like, but yeah, they're a little bit worried about you flipping out on set. I'm like,
like, you knew it's like you might actually flip out on set.
Yeah, right. So you go through that. But I still want to say, like, it hasn't been easy, but it doesn't matter how you start, when you start, or what you really want to accomplish. As long as you're locked in with yourself, you really talk to God often, and you do the work. Because, like, it's really just about putting in the work. People fail to realize that, too. Like, and even when you're doing it, continue perfecting your craft. There's always ways to make yourself better at whatever it is you want to fucking do in life. And people do what they want to do, get there, and then just stay tranquila. And it's just like, no, this is where you really gotta fucking put in real work.
No, like sorry, just like say with this show, right? When I told him, I got Erica Mena coming in, Mr. Lee was like, Erica Mena? Is she gonna be safe? Like is she like is she gonna
I'm over here thinking you're the tough one.
Is she gonna flip on Priscilla? He was like, is she gonna flip on Priscilla? I'm like, come on, man.
In what department? Because if she comes home with me, then high risk.
Oh wow.
High risk.
Oh wow.
You must have heard about me, huh?